Welcome back. We're here at Alloy and we're in the kitchen now with Chef Rogelio. Hello again.
Hello.
And we're going to be cooking a little bit here. What are we making today?
Well, we're gonna make something that is really quick, fun, exciting, carrots.
I love
Imagine
carrots.
that, carrots, yeah. Oh, wow, not that
Delicious.
excited. Well, we're gonna make it excited
Yes.
because they're local. They're from our friend from Man's Organics.
Awesome.
And we have a array here of local ingredients that I will name to you, and then
Awesome.
we get going.
Sounds
So
fantastic.
we got a little bit of brassica mustard that's local, Chinook honey, which is just down here close to Okotoks.
Yep.
We got the cold pressed canola oil, some First Winds ghost cheese, nice and
Yum.
soft.
Yum.
Right? Even the microgreens are local from Red Hat. They're close to Innisfield.
Great.
And Leafy Brothers butter leaves. Okay,
Perfect.
ready?
Yep.
You
What
ready
do
to
we
go?
do
Okay,
first?
Perfect. Yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw a little bit of oil in a pan,
Okay.
and I'm gonna just quickly heat up these carrots that have been blanched
Okay.
ahead of time. So these ones are blanched, and then we're just gonna have them, get a little temperature in there. Just toss them around.
Love the colors, the multicolored carrots.
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
They are beautiful.
A little bit of salt.
And do you use sea salt usually?
Yeah, this one is
Awesome.
sea salt. Yeah, crystal, beautiful sea salt, right? And then now we wait for them to be ready.
Okay.
We have this beautiful plating here that we're gonna use, and then we'll make the dressing right on the pan. Okay.
Nice.
We also have these carrot chips that we did.
They're delicious.
They're really interesting, right? So what we did is we just thin slice this
Yep.
and a mandolin. You can get those in any store nowadays. And then we put them on a dehydrator for about 24 hours in there, and then they get nice and crispy like that. Natural sweetness, nothing added to it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Easy.
A lot of fun,
Carrot
right?
chips. Something easy to make at home
Exactly, yeah. So be careful, this is hot. So
Yep.
we got the carrots in there. So I'm gonna add a little bit of mustard, right? Some of the Chinook honey.
too. And so this is kind of going to be like the dressing.
That's right, that's our
Awesome.
little vinaigrette dressing. And then I have these fancy gold little tongues.
Oh,
Check that out.
beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. So we're just gonna toss that around like that. And then look, just like that, beautiful. Mustard and honey and carrots, right?
Oh, it smells
Just
really
like that.
good.
Smells
I wish we
delicious.
had smell-o-vision.
Yeah. Now, I got my leaves in here. Just a little bit of the oil. Some more of the salt. Some pepper, right?
Yep.
Then I just gonna toss this around a little bit like that with my hands. Clean hands always.
Yep.
And we're gonna put our leaves in the bottom like that. Fancy it up a little bit. Nice and crispy. Our carrots. Take one at a time. Just like so,
Looks like food art. Plating is
Playing around, yeah,
very
exactly.
fun. You get to be artistic with the food.
Correct, yeah. And you eat with your eyes, right? That's
Yes.
the first thing that you see.
That is very true.
Something like that, the plate. Throw a little bit of the dressing in there. Just
Yum.
around like that. This must be on the side. Finish with some of the oil on the plate. Now the ghost cheese. Couple of lobs in there. 1, 2, 3 for good luck, Just like they say, The 3 things the Latinos will say, money, love, and health.
There you go.
Salud, dinero y amor.
Perfect.
We have some radishes,
Okay.
local too, just for more color.
Awesome.
And then we're gonna add our microgreens. These are red mustard microgreens. Couple here, couple there, just like so. And we're gonna finish with our chips. Right there, and right here, and right here. So something so simple, made exciting, just like that, full of local ingredients, healthy and delicious.
Yeah, and it didn't take any time at all.
No,
You could easily do
that's
this at
it.
home.
Exactly, yeah. But come to a restaurant, have it here.
Yes, we'll definitely come here.
That's okay.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you,
this
Amber.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You must be hungry now. Stay tuned. We are going to be back after this with more at Alloy. Welcome back. We are here back in the restaurant now, and I'm here with General Manager Darren. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. So you kind of just did a little remodeling of the bar.
We did
Yeah.
a kind of like a more of like a facelift refresh.
Yeah.
You know, after 8 years, things get a bit stale, so we needed a little splash of color and a little more life in the back half of the restaurant here. You know, it's this is usually where we have our larger groups, but it's
Right.
nice when you can have a little something more inviting for the smaller groups of 2 and 4, just to have a little more background scenery for them as well.
And then if they're waiting to get into the restaurant, they can sit, have a drink,
Exactly.
have an appetizer.
We're pretty good
relax.
at getting people for their reservations on
Yeah.
time, but it's a nice place to sit and relax and have a cocktail if you want to be a bit early as well too. So.
It's very cozy. So, restaurant, menu. We talked to Chef, and he was very great at kind of explaining the allergies and how that process works in the kitchen. But from a manager's point of view or a server's point of view, you know, what kind of emphasis, what kind of training is going into making sure that everyone's educated and on the same
Right.
page?
Well, you know, we have great drinks, great cocktails, great wine, but for us, food is always first. So it's very important that the staff knows every ingredient in every dish. So Chef Rogelio takes his time to make sure that everyone knows exactly what they're doing back there. So we know if there's something that can be done, and if something that is just better left, you know, off to the side for a customer, we take that fairly seriously. So for us, you know, it's kind of it's easy to walk people through the menu. It's not huge, but it's very complete menu. So we can go step-by-step category, whether you want an appetizer, an entree, dessert. We can guide you through what you can have and what you should completely stay away from. So it's par for the course these days. You know, someone's got an allergy or a sensitivity every day, right? So it's something we need to do our best with and
sure.
take seriously.
And for those that may be just finding out they have a food sensitivity or an allergy and they're wanting to come out and dine, maybe it's their first time booking a reservation, what kind of things do you want to find out from that person when they're calling?
If they're calling, it's best if they let us know what they want to stay away from, and then we can guide them through. But I think a lot of people really just don't know. You know, for people who are finding out they have a gluten sensitivity, they don't know they can't have soy sauce, right? So
Right.
they're having a lot of Asian spice dishes that they actually shouldn't be having, because there's more gluten in soy sauce than there is soy.
Right, yeah.
So it's our job to guide them through and then make sure the kitchen knows exactly what this person can and can't have.
And that's great that you guys are that educated that you can help further guide that person that is just learning, because that's kind of half the battle, I feel, is you don't know everything. You feel a bit embarrassed coming to a restaurant and seeming like you're picky, even though you're not.
And then sometimes we get the exact opposite, where people know they have an allergy, but they don't want to say anything to make things difficult. And we just want to feed people,
Yeah.
you know, in the best way we can. So if they have an allergy, please speak up.
All right, so when people are coming to the restaurant, they've sat down, they've kind of talked to their server, they've let their server know the food sensitivities. The server is going into the kitchen, notifies the chefs, everything kind of gets changed in the kitchen. For anyone that may feel kind of a bit ashamed or scared to share their sensitivities, I mean, you've kind of already talked about, like, it's just important for us, we want to feed you properly, but is there any way to encourage people to just be honest? Like, honesty is it's just that.
Honesty makes things easier.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody has a severe allergy or a major sensitivity, then we take it seriously. So everything is kept separate. You know, if you just don't like onions and you don't want them on your dish, just say you don't like onions and we won't put them on there if we can. But if
Right.
it's an allergy, everything is cleaned, separated, new pans, new utensils, and we're gonna make sure that there's no cross-contamination. So
Right.
yeah, if you can let us know at the beginning rather than, you know, after your first course has hit the table,
Yeah.
especially with something like a shellfish or a nut that can be anaphylactic, we like to know about that at the beginning. And, you know, typically what we do is people will sit down, we'll let them get comfortable, we'll get them some water, maybe a drink, and then the server can walk them through what they can and can't have on the menu. And that also gives everyone in the back time to clean up and prepare.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it's important for people to know that the server or people here are not judging them or feeling like they're high maintenance for having an allergy, because I get that all the time, like, oh, I'm afraid to go out because I don't want to feel judged.
it's, you know what, and you're not the only one with that allergy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have something unique that I've never seen before, then okay, then
Yeah.
here's a challenge, but we'll figure out a way past it. But
Yeah.
you're not alone. You
Yeah.
know, it's commonplace these days that people are finding out more and more about what they're putting in their bodies. So, you know, even if you just want to eat, you know, very simply, you know, we can modify a dish to be simple for you. You know, we do a lot of people that have, you know, doing fitness competitions, things like that, that need very little spice and very
Right.
little seasoning. the more notice we can have, the better. But something I don't want to simplify it, but a dairy allergy or a gluten allergy is very simple to handle if you're paying attention to it, and we pay attention to it every day. So it's not a big deal for us to accommodate that.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are really good at doing that. So kudos for the great work and for being so picky, because I think it's very important. And people come here and have a great experience and leave and feel good, and they will definitely come back.
Absolutely, and we need to do it right the first time.
Yes, exactly. So thank you so much, Darren, for
My pleasure.
being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time on Fresh Health. Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. We're in the kitchen again, and today I wanted to talk about a few ingredients, 4 that I have here, that you may have not heard of, but that are very beneficial to your health. Sometimes I will talk about these or use these in some of my recipes, so I wanted to take a bit more time to show you what they look like and how you can use them, so then you can go head on out to a market here in Calgary and try them and see if you like them. So we're gonna start on one end and work our way to the other. So let's start with seaweed. So I have seaweed sheets here, and these ones have actually been roasted, but you can buy seaweed in its natural form where it's just dried. So there's all different kinds, nori, dulce, kelp, and they all have great benefits of having lots of minerals. Minerals are a great source of support for our bodies because they help keep our electrolytes balanced. And electrolytes are important with sweating. So if you've been in the gym or you've been at hot yoga, you're gonna be sweating out a lot of your electrolytes, and this is important for your energy. So eating seaweed can help build your electrolytes back up. It also is a great source of iodine. So what's so great about iodine? This helps to support natural, balanced thyroid function. And here in Western Alberta, due to depleted soil, there is less iodine in our soil. So eating some seaweed can help to build up your levels in your body again. Another great component of seaweed is that it is very alkaline. So this helps to balance the pH of the body, which is also very important for balanced health. So what you can do with these is, of course, sushi. You can wrap rolls of sushi, or you can break this up. You could put it in a salad. Another really easy thing to do is to take seaweed, and if you are cooking rice or beans, you can add the seaweed into that while it cooks, and actually all the minerals will absorb into your rice or your beans or your quinoa or whatever you're boiling, and you get all those minerals into that, and then you can just chop up the seaweed and mix it in, and there won't really be much of a flavor left over. So that's why I love seaweed, so you can add it into a lot of different things. Up next on the list here, I have some delicious maca. So this is a powder that's been dried and blended from a root. So this is actually from South America. And why I love maca so much is because it's got great health benefits, especially for our hormones and for stress. So if you've been told you have something like adrenal fatigue or you're tired all the time, this is great to take either blended into a tea or a chocolate recipe, because it really, really, really helps to calm stress down in the body and support your adrenals, which are a big part of our stress. So adding a teaspoon or 2 into a tea or a smoothie, or like I said, a chocolate recipe is great. So this is also really good for fertility for women. So mixing a little bit of this every day, like I said, with some sort of a smoothie or even a coffee or a tea would be perfect. This has a bit of a bitter chocolate flavor, so I always recommend that you do put something sweet in it to help balance out the flavor, and just try a little bit on your spoon first mixed in, just to make sure you like the taste of it so you can adjust. So that is maca, and it comes in a lighter white form, and it also comes in a darker purple and black form. So they all have the great same health benefits, but the flavor will differ a little bit, and the white is the least bitter. So I was just talking about chocolate, and I happen to have one of the lovely chocolates in its natural form. So people will often say, well, how do you tell the difference between this, which is called cacao nibs, and a chocolate chip? So these are cacao nibs, and so essentially we start with the cacao bean in its full form, and then the next part is that this has been broken down into a nib. So essentially cacao nibs are a complete 100% natural chocolate. So these nibs have tons of magnesium, and magnesium is good for relaxing the mind, the muscles, and our digestive system. So I often find a lot of people will crave chocolate, and it's actually due to the magnesium in the chocolate. So the body's actually needing magnesium, which is really really cool. So I often find, because of the high magnesium content, once you eat a couple teaspoons or tablespoons of this, you'll be very relaxed. So I often recommend to either put cacao nibs with dried fruit like goji berries or cherries or mango, or to mix it in with a muffin recipe or a granola bar recipe, or to actually, if you make truffles or anything, you can coat it with these nibs and they taste absolutely delicious. They're nice and crunchy, so that's also great. So if you want something crunchy, it is a good treat. So really high in magnesium, also a little bit of iron in there as well. I think it's really cool that all of these foods have such great medicinal properties. So not only are you eating something that could seem like a bit of a treat, but you're actually doing your body a lot of good. And last but not least, we have matcha. So matcha is a green powder. So this is actually in the green tea family. So about 1/2 teaspoon of matcha powder here is as potent as steeping 10 green tea bags at once. So it is very potent for natural caffeine. So I often will recommend to people to start with about 1/4 teaspoon in either a tea, so you can just use hot water with lemon, or to put it into a smoothie again is really easy. A lot of people also use this before workouts because it helps to give you that extra boost of energy you need with a natural caffeine source. So just start with a little bit and work your way up, because it can make some people feel very energetic. Another great thing about this is it's very good for the immune system. It's high in antioxidants, so it supports strengthening the immune system, so it can help to prevent and ward off colds and flus. So it's also great for that as well. So matcha is lovely because of all those properties, but like I said, just start with a little bit and work your way up with your tolerance, just because it is very potent. Like I said, 10 green tea bags in 1/2 teaspoon. So these are 4 of kind of my favorite ingredients that you may not have heard of. So I hope now that you head on out to the store and you pick them up, you can actually find all 4 of these ingredients at Market 17 here locally in Calgary. So they will be able to help you find these, and you can go and start experimenting. I have lots of great recipes on my website that you can also use these ingredients in. So feel free to check that out on amberapproved.ca as well. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Hello and welcome. We are here at Alloy today in Calgary, and I'm here with chef/owner Rogelio. Welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming by today.
You're so welcome. So I love this restaurant, so obviously we had to come here and talk to you. I feel like it's such a special place because of supporting local and how you deal with allergies and so many different things. So let's kind of start off first with kind of like what inspired this restaurant, what inspires the menu?
Well, we start with the ingredients first, sourcing as much as local as we can, and then from there we become creative, right? Some other people do it reverse. They become creative first and then they source the ingredients. With me, it's what's around me, what inspires in the season, what's coming up, what is there, right? The colors, and then that. From then we develop our menus. We work with a lot of farmers and people that grow vegetables around here, and people that grow protein and things like that. And then from there we just kind of develop the menu. Try to keep it simple yet interesting. Let those ingredients speak for themselves.
And you know, how important is it for flavor and supporting local and using those local ingredients in your dishes? I mean, you can definitely tell a huge difference compared to just using bigger companies for your produce.
It's massive. I mean, you know, if we all help each other, the only thing that we're doing is stepping forward together, right? Restaurants, I think, are in that type of mission that we need to support our local guys. That way people get introduced to it by us.
Right.
Most people don't know that these things are around them. And then if they come to a restaurant, they see it's like, oh, where can I get this? And then you tell them, well, you know, this guy was the one that grew the carrot. This guy was the one that grew these little herbs here. And it's just close to your neighborhood, right?
Which is so important. And so
Very important.
you have a set menu, and then you change your tasting menu every day.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We change every other day, yeah.
That's a lot. So you're creating a lot in the kitchen.
We are,
so
yes, yeah.
what's kind of like coming to mind when you're creating these dishes every day or every 2 days to change the tasting menu?
Well, what we do is I work with my chefs. I give them a lot of creative freedom. Obviously, everything stops with me. I'm the one that puts the brakes on things or not. So they come up with ideas, I come up with ideas, we work together. That way they are happy and interested in doing what we're doing. We get phone calls from people around town and around the area. You know, yesterday actually, for example, I got a phone call from a Dutch friend of mine that's got ducks ready for next week. I'm sorry, rabbits ready for next week. So he's like, okay, we got rabbits ready. So I tell the guys, rabbits are coming on the first of the month. Who's gonna come up with an idea for us? So that somebody raises their hand, they start coming with the idea, rabbit comes in, we look at it, we taste it, goes on the menu, doesn't go on the menu, so
Awesome.
and so on and so forth.
That's
how we
really,
do
really,
that.
really, really cool.
And that tasting menu, like you say, you know, we change it almost every day. So the customers that are regulars, they always have something nice, interesting, and fun
Yeah.
coming out of that little menu in there.
A new experience every time.
Correct, yeah.
Which is completely unique, and I think it's nice to have a restaurant that's so refreshing that way.
Yes, yeah, I think so too, yeah.
And so another reason you guys are great is because you really pay attention to detail when it comes to food sensitivities, allergies, celiac, all of those different things.
Yeah.
So how about you walk us through that process of kind of why you emphasize that so much and the kind of the practices that you take in the kitchen?
Well, personal experience, my son has an allergy to nuts and peanuts. So for me, it's truly important to be careful with things like that because I have that in my family. My business partner, his niece is celiac,
Okay.
and she cannot even stand the smell of flour around her, right? So personal experience, right? So we're very careful when somebody tells us that they have this type of allergies. We take it very seriously. And the process in the kitchen is like basically everything stops. We make the customers aware that their food may take a little longer than the other plates because we are taking very, very good care of it. Washing their hands, changing tongs, utensils, spoons, everything that gonna go onto that plate is refreshed and moved around. So when that plate arrives into the people's tables, my conscience is completely clean and my cook's conscience is completely clean, that we did everything as we could to deliver that product allergy-free.
Right.
So that's how we work it. Also, we utilize a lot of, me being from Latin America, we use a lot of flours that are not very common. You use in many restaurants here, but we use a lot of yuca flour and we use corn flours and we use, you know, we make arepas, we make all these little thin breads that are gluten-free, so for the people that have the gluten sensitivity, they can enjoy something that is like that. Our calamari is crispy because it's made with corn flour, yuca flour, and some maseca, right? So it's nice and crispy, but it's gluten-free.
And so one thing that I always hear people say is, oh, I'm not even gonna bother go out to eat because if I order, it's gonna just be like a chicken breast and lettuce and it's gonna be boring. People though can come here and order a lot of these things that don't even have to be altered on the menu.
Correct,
and
yeah.
have a great, unique experience here. So kind of how do you encourage people to come out and, you know, open their eyes to a new experience for dining?
Some of the comments that we get from the customers that have these allergies is how surprised they are when they get the plate. Some things we don't have to even change because we don't utilize a lot of things that are allergens right now. So for us, when we're making a menu, we're always conscious of that as well. We take everybody into consideration. These things are happening more often, so you have to adjust to that. I think I'm in the business of saying yes. I won't say no to anybody. And as much as we can accommodate that person, we will, without having to make them feel bad about it. It's bad enough that they're living with this, and then they're gonna come out and have an experience, and then they don't need to be flagged as, you know,
to feel comfortable.
Exactly, yeah. When we go out to eat to other restaurants with my kids and my wife, she always takes the feeling of the place first, the temperature of the place first. So when you are talking to your server and your server is confident and they're telling you, you know what, this is what we do here, and you know, we feel comfortable doing that, the customer is gonna feel comfortable, and everything, just leave it to our hands and we'll do it, right? So, needless to say, my kids love coming in.
Of course, because they feel safe and comfortable, and that's so important. And so you educate all the servers and everybody on the allergies and how to deal with that. That's fantastic.
Exactly, and if somebody does not know, they go back in the kitchen and they ask us, and then we rapidly will have an answer for them. So it is become an easier process for the customers, and we do have actually a fair amount of customers that have some sensitivities, and they come here and they feel comfortable, and we know them. We have a system of reservations where the notes are already in place, and when they come in, we know already.
Perfect. And one of my last questions is the food scene. Where do you see it going in the next 5 years? Do you see more farm to table coming in? Like, what kind of things do you think are going to be coming into food?
Local, that's it. I mean, this is what we have to get going, and it's already happening. I mean, many restaurants in town do it, we do it, and that's where the food scene has to be. It has to be local, has to be fresh, has to be what we have around. Obviously, I mean, we live in the country which has like millions months of winter, but you can also be creative with that as well. I mean, you don't have to regress. You can also have some creativity in that. So to me, that's where the food scene needs to stay and go. As far as, you know, being creative, many cultures are influences ourselves now. I think the food from Latin America, the food from China are starting to have some influences in what we do as well. So taking some sparks from here and there is gonna make our food elevated. So I'm already there because I'm Latino, and my food's got a lot of Latin influences in there. So that's where the food scene is going, I think.
I think I completely agree with you. It's all about supporting local. Do you have a favorite kind of dish or kind of ingredients that you like to work with?
Not a favorite one, but my favorite thing to eat is fish.
Okay.
So I like eating a lot of fish, and I work with a lot of with fish and seafood, and so we work with the Ocean Wise program as well.
Awesome.
Try to bring in things that are sustainable, and that's my favorite thing to eat, seafood.
Awesome. It is delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I've missed?
No, thank you for having us here and your program, and you know, like if you have people that are watching and they want to come and try this, please do. You know?
Yes. So thank you very much. We are going to go in the kitchen very shortly, and we're going to see what's cooking there. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.